I found this vintage suitcase set at a garage sale and only paid $2 for it. And I decided I was going to use the Queen of the Nile inlay on the suitcases. Even though I know that they're quite big, you can cut these inlays up and use them however you want to. I've already added 2 coats of DIY White Swan to the suitcase, and now I'm adding a third even coat just so it will give me a base to impress my inlay into. And I'm doing this piece by piece. When using your inlays, it's best to work in small spaces. So here you see me smoothing it down now with my clean wrap after I've laid down that thin coat of paint.
A rabbit not many weeks old eats some greens and shows some trust to a perfect stranger.
I'm going to continue with this same process section by section. Here I sped it up a little bit just so you don't have to watch it as I do the same thing over and over. One thing about the inlays though, make sure that when you get them, especially if you're trying to connect them together, make sure to trim off the little edges that come on them before you put those two together.
What kind of weird plan is this? What needs to be shown is nowhere to be known. The desert lands of the Western Kingdom leaves me cold. Gone is the old, long live the old, and I'll never do what I'm told to unless the voice.
Once you get it all laid down, take your Mr. Bottle or a damp rag and you want to wet it all over. And then you'll see me taking soft bristle brush to rub it in and just give more of a connection between the inlay and the paint. You can use a soft rag to do the same thing. And now comes the fun part, y'all. Once you have got your inlay down, misted it all up, pressed it in firmly, and once all that dries, now you want to start peeling it off. And you want to mist it so that, or wet it, you can use a damp rag, but you want to get it a little bit wet so that the inlay will peel off firmly. You should not have to pull hard or tug, and your inlay should not tear. So just add moisture to it and then peel it off section by section. Once you get your inlays all peeled off, you want to use a 50-50 mixture of top coat and water to spray all over and set your paint in so that it will not smear. Because again, we have to remember that this is paint embedded into these carrier sheets. So you want to set it before you start doing any kind of sealing over the top. I'm just going to continue working my way on the other side of the suitcase, laying down the other half of the inlay. You saw previously where I cut off part of the inlay. I'm going to use that on the sides. So don't forget, y'all, you can cut these inlays up and use them however you want to. Just because they're large doesn't mean that they have to always be used in the form that they come in. So since these are vintage suitcases, I decided I wanted to keep that vintage look. And so the white swan was a little bit too stark white for me, so I decided to do a wash. So here you see me mixing water with DIY's Sandy Blonde to create a wash that I'm just going to brush over my suitcase and then dab it back. One of the many things that I like about DIY paint is that it's so heavily pigmented that you can actually water it down and still not lose that color. So here you see me just taking my baby wipe and dabbing back some of that wash just to continue with that aged feel. And then I decided, oh, why not keep going? So I pulled out my vintage textures stamp, which is really cool because you get 4 textures on one stamp. And I just decided to add a few more layers. Sometimes it is so hard to know when to stop, y'all. So I decided I'm going to add a little bit of gold using my Pint Art gold metallic wax paste. And so here you see me adding that to some of the flowers that were down around her feet, and just kind of rubbing it on with, you can use a brush or you can use your finger. And then I'm taking this old t-shirt to kind of buff it back. It buffs into this really pretty shine. So I love using this Pint Art, these metallic wax pastes. My clear wax by DIY kind of helps me control my color waxes. So I'm dabbing just a little bit of clear just to kind of level out some of that gold. Using these inlays, y'all, is a whole lot of fun. I hope you'll give them a try. And if you like these kind of videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and continue to follow me. Thank you so much for watching.